Nobody's gonna do that, but nobody's gonna do that, but he's gonna do that, but that's a true blind.
That's a true blind.
That's a true blind.
That's a true blind.
Welcome to the true battle of the Macallan 12 Old versus New. I'm your host Sam, and this is Whiskey and SV. All right, the idea behind this episode came from our friends Rob and Jeremy over at the Whisky Rant Podcast. They run the Whiskey in the Six channel and Sippers Social Club. And they were gracious enough to have me on their channel once. And in their previous episode, they did a comparison of the old versus new Macallan 12 and also the old versus new Ardbeg 10 year. And I think at the end of the episode, they decided that to do a true blind, you should redo the same blind on 4 or 5 different nights. If you end up picking like the same one, then that is a true blind, and that's a proper decision. So and I think in passing they said no one's going to do it like that. So to that I say, challenge accepted, Rob and Jeremy. That is exactly what I'm going to do. So this week, every night, today is Monday, and every night from tonight, which is Monday, every night I'm going to do a blind of these 2 whiskeys. And I'm going to see if I come with the same tasting notes and the same decision as to which one I like best. And we can settle that score once and for all, at least for my palate anyway. So as I think I've featured these 2 bottles in my channel before. One of them is kind of the newer Macallan 12 from 2022. And this is about 3/4 done now. And this one is a much older one. I think this one is from 2017 or something like that. I think this one was on my first episode, in my inaugural episode on the channel as well. So, you know, I think it's kind of fair. They've both been open for a while, and yeah, let's do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour 1/2 ounce each every night for the next 5 nights, and I'm going to do a. I'm not going to use the black Glencairns because I think these are close enough in color that I don't really need to use the black Glencairns. But I think it should be fair enough to do just the regular Glencairns. I just feel more comfortable nosing these. I don't have that weird fruity note that I get from the black Glencairns. So let's pour this in. And 1/2 ounce of each. They look pretty indistinguishable from each other, and except I should wipe that off so I don't accidentally notice the difference there. Okay, so I have my caps back here, so we're gonna put number 1 on the old, and number 2 on the new. Okay, and since we don't have Laylee to help us out tonight again, we will use the turntable. So put them on the turntable and we'll let them go. And while that's happening, I'll just turn around and look at my beautiful whiskeys, and we'll come back soon, and we'll see how this goes. Okay, I think that's probably good enough, and we'll just do some randomness here, whatever. All right, it's good. I don't know which one's which. So let's go for the first one. Oh, the pure Macallan goodness. Orange, zesty, tangerines, kind of like a burnt orange note. Very malty. Some chocolate, dark chocolate notes. Yeah, I think for me the Macallan marker is that tangerine marmalade, yeah, chocolate note. Okay, excellent nose, very vibrant. I'm gonna keep it here. I'm gonna nose this one as well. I don't know which is which. This one is very similar, although I have to say, it does. The aromas are a little bit more muted than this one. Pretty much all the same notes though. So I really cannot tell a big difference, except for maybe this one is a little bit muted. So, but now this one tastes muted because obviously it was fresh. So, okay. So honestly, there's not much between them. I think they're pretty consistent. Okay, so let's go for the palate on this one. Man, I always forget how excellent Macallan is. It's very easy to hate on them, but they do produce a great whiskey. So yeah, very malty. That tangerine jam marmalade taste comes through. Um, there's some like chocolatey notes, like orange chocolate kind of notes on there. Little bit of spices, not too much at all. Given that it's only 43% ABV, it is relatively mouth coating, and the the flavor does last quite a while on once you've swallowed it. Okay, let's try this one. Very similar. I think overall though, the flavor on this comes across um, a little more concentrated and lasts a bit longer. Hmm. Very nice. Very little between them though. I mean, I really can't. I have a slight preference towards this one, I think, but not much. You know, when I first started, I thought this was more potent on the nose, but now I think this one is. Very little between them, seriously. That's so good. That oak comes out towards the late palate as well. A little bit more like ginger spice on this. The spices come out a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I think at this point I would say this one is slightly preferable to me. Now, which one is it? I don't know. Um, I hope it's the new one. I guess it might be the old one, but I don't know. Um, let's go for the last sip. Yeah, I don't know. I think this one is just a little bit more concentrated, a little bit more punch to it. The spices are there a little bit more. Um, yeah, generally it's like a tiny notch above that one. So, um, number one, number two, right? And let's see um, which one it is. I'm gonna guess that it's the old one because everyone says the old one should be better. We'll see. Okay, this is number two, so it is the new one. Consistent with what Rob and Jeremy found. Actually, I think they both preferred the new one. Honestly, there's very little difference between these. Um, yeah, this has been open for longer, but this has gone down much more. And this was open like maybe 6 months ago. This was opened maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe even 5 years ago at this point. So there you have it. On the first night, the new one takes the cake. We'll come back tomorrow night and see what the preferences are then. All right, see you then. All right, and we're back. Tuesday night, 11:30 p.m. Been a long work day. I played soccer, came home, took a shower, and I was gonna go to bed, but I realized I need to drink for science. All right, so let's do it. Half an ounce again in each one. Probably I will fast forward these. I have no idea which is which. We'll take and we'll see. Here we go. Oh man, I love Macallan. I didn't have dinner tonight actually, so and after a good soccer game, I'm a little bit dehydrated. It's the aromas are much more concentrated. I would have never guessed that this is only 43%. Yeah, lots of like orange, chocolate orange kind of notes. Um, maltiness in there. Yeah, just like jam, orange jam. That's what it reminds me of. Tangerines. Okay, that's very nice. Quite runny legs too. Okay, so let's see. I really like that, but I don't know like what the other one's gonna be. So let's see. Let's see what this one's like. Okay, much more muted. So by comparison, maybe it's just because it was the first whiff. Let me see. No, this is definitely much nicer. Now, yeah, on the nose, I think there's no contest. This is the winner. No, there's no contest. For sure, very similar noses, but this is just more concentrated, more everything's amped up. Let's put it that way. Okay, so we'll go with the lesser nose first. There's some different notes in this though. There's a bit of a ginger note in this that's missing in this one. No, it's here as well. Okay, right. Let's go with this first. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, maltiness. Got kind of burnt orange marmalade jam thing. I don't think I was getting this much of a discrepancy last night. Tonight, this one is just standing out way more. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. This one is more malty, but not as syrupy or mouth coating as this one. It does feel a little bit thinner on the palate. Okay, so tonight, this is the winner. Let's see what it is. And this is number 2. So again, the new one wins, and this is number 1. The old one loses. 2 nights in a row. Come back tomorrow night and let's see which one wins. See you tomorrow night. All right, welcome to night 3. It's Wednesday night and just finished working. Well, actually, there's a little bit more left, but I can get to that later tonight. And here we go again. You know the drill by now. I'm going to pour a half sample of each of these, and I'm going to randomize and see how that goes. I'm beginning to understand why Rob and Jeremy were saying no one would do that, because this is turning into a hassle. But for science, right? Gotta be done. All right, let's go. Let's go. I will go for this first. I don't know what it is. Very stereotypical Macallan. I mean, I think from a point of reference, I would not be able to say from an absolute perspective which one it is. I think when you put them next to each other is where I think I have some sort of an understanding. If you handed me this and you said it's old or new, I wouldn't know. I just say I think it's good. Okay, instantly a lot less on the nose. So, given the nights that we've gone previously, I think this is the old one and this is the new one. So the old one is the one that's more muted on the nose. Much, much more muted. It's just not comparable. Yeah, this is much more potent. So I think this has got to be the new one. Just on the nose alone, this is a new one for sure. I don't know for sure, but um, I'm fairly confident. I mean, yeah, it's just much more jammy. Everything is much more lively. Um, yeah, let's taste it. Similar profile, just not as full bodied, not as yeah. I don't know what to say. I've been saying this for 3 nights in a row. So um, let's do the reveal. And this is number two. And this is number one. Okay, at this point, I could stop because I think it's fairly obvious to me that this, the new one, is definitely recognizably better when it's done side by side. But I'm going to do two more nights just to be sure. 5 out of 5 would be perfect score, and I think I can do it given how this has been going. Because now I feel pretty confident that this just is more fuller. Yeah, just generally a better version of the old one. So it's excellent. Okay, see you tomorrow night. All right, welcome to night 4. It's Thursday night. I still have some work to do. It's 9 p.m., but I'm dedicated to doing this, so let's get going. You know the drill by now. Half ounce of the old one, the new one, in the right hand side one, and it'll be number 2. Um, let's get going. I have to say this again. I don't want to. I have to know as a comparison, right? But just on the nose, it's not as uh, flavorful as I remember the new one. So if I'm just like guessing, like without even trying that one, I'm gonna put it next to the old. Um, but let's do the comparison to be sure, right? So in the comparison, last night it was very obvious. Now this is like making me doubt. Okay, I don't know. So I thought I would be able to tell by the nose, but tonight I am unable to tell by the nose. No, I would say they're pretty neck and neck right now. So okay, let's go for a palate. I'm finding it very hard to distinguish them tonight. That's so weird. Last night it was completely obvious. Hmm. What changed? I don't know. Oh man. Okay, let's see. I'm leaning towards this one being more jammy. Honestly, they are neck and neck tonight. It is. I can't really tell the difference. Actually, this one on the second sip lingered a little bit more. Was a little bit more intense. Oh man, I don't want to get this wrong. I'm gonna add like a drop of water, even though I've never dropped water. I'll just like do like 2 small drops just to open them up a little bit more. Maybe that will help with distinguishing them a little bit more. Or maybe it'll just confuse me. Now that comes across as kind of thin, but that's probably because I dropped water in it. So honestly, I can't tell. And tonight, I don't think I have a preference over one over the other. I think actually I'd like to swap them. I think this one was slightly thinner, but I'm just like guessing at this point. Um, so let's see. Here comes the reveal. All right, yes, this is number one. and this is number two. Honestly, yeah, tonight I have to say there was really it was kind of guessing. I don't think uh I wouldn't have been surprised if I got this one wrong. Last night I got it like straight away, but tonight I don't know what it was about tonight that they just seem much closer together. So yeah, there you have it. 4 nights in a row. Um, I was able to tell them apart. I think tonight they were neck and neck. It was kind of a guess, if I'm being fair. And I don't think I had like a solid preference tonight. I did last night for sure. Um, yeah, so we'll come back tomorrow night and see wrap this up. We'll do 5 nights in a row as we committed to doing for science. So yeah, see you tomorrow night. All right, welcome to night five. So let's do this. Um, actually, tonight is not Friday night; it is Saturday night, and the reason for that is on Friday night we ended up going out with some of my whiskey friends, and it turned into a pretty epic night in San Francisco. And we went to some epic bars and had some epic pours. Um, and yeah, I won't go into too much detail, but probably a little bit too many epic pours. For science, we shall do what we have to do. Right. All right. Well, this one is the usual, right? Malty, um, orange, kind of like a orange marmalade, some apricots. If I was to take a guess, I would say it's the new one, but I think I'll have to tell that in a comparison. So let's see. Yeah. So again, I think this is one of those nights where I definitely see a big difference. This one is much more concentrated flavors, aromas, sorry, and this one is comparatively more muted. Now, let's go for a tasting, but I think I would say that this and this are yeah, this is probably actually, let me make sure I move them with the cap so I don't mess this up. I think this is like what they are actually. So no, I would have to say this is better. There's some citrus notes coming at the end of this as well, and they turn a little bit bitter. Um, I'm not a huge fan of like those citrus notes that turn bitter. So yeah, I think this is the new one, and it's my preferred one. So let's see. Yes, number two. So 5 out of 5, we got it right, and I think tonight was a little bit closer on the path at the beginning, but then like not really. So yeah. So there you have it. The conclusion is that um, this old versus new, um, the new one is clearly at least my favorite, and I think there's an argument to be made about this being open for like 4 or 5 years. Although for majority of its time it was probably 75% full, so I don't think oxidation had too much to do with it. So yeah, don't always assume that the new stuff is always getting worse. I think Macallan has done a good job. This bottle looks cooler. This thing has it looks like a collared shirt or something. And yeah, generally, I think they've done a great job of keeping it a great whiskey. Unfortunately, prices have gone up, but prices have gone up on everything. So that's not really uh, here or there. So yeah, there you have it. This was not so much of a fun episode because it was very time consuming and it took 5 different nights. But I do stuff for science. So yeah, I think I understand now why Jeremy and Rob said no one would do that, because it's a huge hassle to do this every night, and it causes you to have to drink every night. By the way, And of course, they probably didn't mean you have to drink it every night. They just mean 5 different nights. I took it a little bit too literal, and I was trying to get an episode out, so I drank basically every night. Although, half an ounce each, I think that's fine. Anyways, I'm rambling on too much. Thanks for joining me for this interesting episode. I hope you found it interesting. Please like and subscribe, and try to get the word out there for this channel. I'm putting a lot of effort into it, but the subscriber rate and the watch rate is not really where I thought it would be. But yeah, okay. Well, hopefully you enjoyed the episode, and see you next time. Bye.